Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to something a little bit different. Welcome to the Platinum Hyper Cup number 3. This is a, I believe, bi-weekly or semi-regular event that has been held, hosted by the Platinum Heroes, hosted by Team Hyper 1. And we have a bit of a team league match. We have a team league team show match here between the Platinum Heroes and Hyper 1 in a best of 7. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris, we have our South Korean. We have our Polish Zerg player. We have a Polish Zerg player here representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Snockstar. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hyper 1. It is Curry, aka Stephen Curry himself. Let's go. This may be a little bit confusing, but you do see Platinum Esports there. A branch of, there's a weird situation where the Platinum Heroes, they do want to field 2 rosters in WTL, so technically they have made 2 teams. There's the Platinum Heroes, and there is Platinum Esports as well, and Snockstar is kind of a part of that. It's weird. it's a bit of a weird scenario. Technically, he's on the Platinum Heroes. Technically, for all intents and purposes, he is on the Platinum Heroes. And we do have our best of 7 show match. So the way this works, this is a WTL format best of 2. Best of 2 between these 2 players. Within it, we have the greater best of 7 between the Platinum Heroes and Team Hyper 1. We start things off with Curry versus Snockstar in a PvZ. Following that, we do have Goblin versus 3 Point and Nick Ranked versus Hon Mono. Oh boy. Hyper 1 fielding a team of Koreans, meanwhile Platinum Heroes fielding a team of Europeans. How will they fare off against each other? We're here to find out. Going to be a gate expand from Curry. Snockstar back at home going for a hatch gas pool opener instead. Going for something different, going for something a little bit more standard. Force Stick the a bit of an unnatural natural here. At least Snockstar is forced into a more uncomfortable position. But outside of that, things are looking standard, which is crazy, by the way. Snockstar, he is known for being cheesy. Like, he has a reputation. we've casted a lot of Snockstar recently, and he is a very cheesy, very aggressive player. But for the time being, everything is looking normal from the side of our Polish Zerg player. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. Feels bad, man. Sorry, I did miss the message, but it looks like Malzi is also going to be casting. Yes, we do have our first set being covered via replays, and I am in a lobby here with control, and hopefully we can sort things out for the next game. For the time being, though, Lings are going to be slipping into towards that natural base. 1 probe goes down. Get 1 worker so far. 2 more Lings slipping into the main base. Do slip into the main. Hold on. I just want to make sure that we actually have. Just trying to make sure that Mousy is okay when it comes to his stuff. But all good. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. Mousy, again, is going to be another caster covering this event. Just making sure that he's okay. In case we didn't have it. all good. Sorry, I was just... I know things are happening. Still apologize. Where things are happening. Sorry, I'm just doing some admin stuff behind the scenes. All good, all good. Oh, there we go. Okay. Third base is being taken. It was avoided first opener. Lings, they do flood across the map, and we will shut down the third base. Oh my god. Third base is going to be shut down. Adept going to be falling pylon as well. Stephen Curry doesn't actually have much to work with here because he is going for glaive depths across the map. Because that third base is going to be going down. Snogstar, we spoke about how cheesy and aggressive he can and is, and it looks like he will break the third base. He's busting in towards the natural as well, and we're going for a weird base trade. Let's go. We have Curry moving out towards the mineral lines, but at the same time, he has nothing to defend back at home. Or does he? For a moment there, Snogstar, he was turning back around. He will commit. Is going to be committing. Adepts a trade well here against the Lings, and Curry, he's holding onto his natural. Shield batteries are on the way. Meanwhile, across the map, drones are going down. We shut down the Queen in the main, and we're headed towards that natural. Headed towards that natural base. Lings, drones going to be going down as well. They are getting picked off here towards that third. Not too much economic damage, though. Only 3 drones so far. Snogstar has done well preserving his workers. He has saved his workers for now, but it's still not done. It's still not over. We're still trading nicely, at least against the Lings. And Curry is holding back at home. He is not being broken. Looks like the Adepts across the map are being cleaned up by the Roaches and Ravagers. But the Queens are falling. And as the dust does settle, Curry actually has an economic lead, and he still has Adepts. He still has Adepts shading towards the natural from the third. Lings are going down. Not drones, though. As it looks like we have calmed things down a little bit here. Okay, in the aftermath, Snogstar lost a lot of Queens. He lost a lot of Queens, lost a lot of Lings, lost 6 drones. A very inefficient start here for Snogstar as he does bleed out a lot of units. Meanwhile, we're redroning. We're resaturating our bases. And Curry back at home is looking quite stable. He's retaking his third base, and we're getting into Sky Toss. I didn't even notice the Fleet Beacon. Fleet Beacon was thrown down. Carriers are on the way. And Curry, he is amassing an army. Is working towards Sky Toss, and Snogstar is in a really awkward position now. Thankfully, this Void Ray is forcing out Queens. We do snipe an Overlord. Void Ray backs off. Queens are on the way. But economically, Snogstar is behind. Straight up, he's just behind. In the economy, in the workers. We do take down the Adepts. The Adepts are brought down. At least some of them were, but 3 of them, they shade into the national base, and we're going to be able to pick up even more workers. Denied mining time, 3 drone kills, and this is not even Curry's final form. Neither is it Snogstar. Snogstar, we're cutting workers. We have drone up to 46. We have a couple more drones on the way, but really we're focusing on Roach production. And when Roach speed kicks in, Snogstar is going to be pushing. The downside here is that he's going to be pushing into carriers, and he still doesn't know. He's still in the dark. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. As here we go. Snogstar, he's going to be committed. We're cutting workers here at 45. We are just cutting saturation. And it's all or nothing for Snogstar. He is going for a follow-up all-in. Void Rays, they're going to force this back. They're going to slow this down. And again, Curry, he didn't even know how aggressive and how all-in Snogstar was being, but he just happens to be working towards the perfect answer. The perfect thing for it. Robo for Immortal Production. Here we go. Snogstar sending everything he has across the map. Everything he does have left. Surrounds Zealots, pushes in towards that mineral line. The carriers, they reveal themselves. The carriers are here. We have 4. We have 5 carriers, and there's no shot. There's no way we can handle this. Ravagers being focused down one after the other. GG gets called, and just like that, Curry will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. A solid start here for Team Hyper 1 as they do take a lead in the series. Ooh, and the Platinum Heroes, they do stumble a little bit here. Again, Snogstar is a very aggressive player. He's, again, all-in by nature more often than not. Is very all-in as a player, very aggressive. But Snogstar happened to be going for something aggressive. Sorry, Curry happened to be going for something aggressive himself. Happened to be going for 4-gate Glaive Adepts into Skysource of all things. Very lovely, very beautifully done there, and Curry does take a lead. But from here, where do we go? Where are we headed as we're getting ready for game number 2 on Alcyone? Let's go. Let us go. As a reminder, it is going to be a best of 5. Is it going to be a best of 5? Wait, sorry. Did I say best of 5? Best of 7. It's going to be a best of 7 here between these 2 teams. So still plenty of games to come, plenty of series to be had. And I'm ready for game number 2 as we load in to Alcyone. Let's go. Let us go. And now, without any distractions, we can focus on our game. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our Polish Zerg player, the red Zerg representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Snogstar. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Team Hyper 1. It is Stephen Curry. We go. So again, I apologize for the chaotic game number 1, like casting wise. Like, sorry, I was just distracted. I had to respond to one of our other casters that is covering this, and I was just going through files and going through folders and stuff. So I do apologize for it not having my full attention, but now we can focus. Now we can focus on the game. Now we can focus on StarCraft. It is going to be a gas first. Gas pool opener here out of Snogstar. We mentioned it earlier, how Snogstar is typically a very aggressive and very cheesy player. He has a reputation, but I don't think Curry knows about that reputation. Again, Snogstar, he's known amongst the Polish scene, amongst the European community, the European ladder. Curry doesn't ladder on EU. He ladders on Korea. And these two, I don't think have ever faced off in competitive play. They've avoided each other. So this is going to be a first for Curry. And can he handle the aggression of Snogstar? It's going to be a gas first into fastling speed and maybe a roach rush with the goal base behind this. Very aggressive build here from Snogstar. Can Curry punish the gold? Can he keep up? For now, he scouts. Does probe scout. He does get eyes on the hatchery. He's fully aware of the goal base that is being taken. Just because he knows doesn't mean he can stop it. Here we go. So we do see Curry. He has spotted. He is going for a Zealot first. Interesting. Very safe opener here from Curry. We'll have a wall to work with. He also confirms the faster gases. It is going to be link speed on the way. We do have one worker in gas, but this means no roaches. We're not going into roaches. This could still be a Bane bust. It could be a Ling Bane all in. That makes the most sense in my mind, as we want to take advantage of this goal base. Lings are moving out across the map. The wall is soon to be up and running. We do have an Adept hidden on the right-hand side away from the Overlord. But is this going to be enough, as we do have a handful of Lings not committing, pulling back. Again, Snogstar wants to wait for the goal base to actually come into play and actually come to fruition. We are waiting for that. As it is going to be a Stargate opener out of Curry. With this Stargate, we can go Void Ray or Oracle. They both have their place. Adepts, they shade across one. They get 2 drones before getting the hell out of there. Before shading back. Void Ray would be good to deal with the Overlords and to have sustained damage available defensively. Oracles can eviscerate Lings and Banelings and, I mean, everything. They have a very high attack rate. But there it is. Void Ray is going to be our tech of choice. We have our initial Void Ray. Adepts, they will barely shade away. Whew. Nice moves there out of Curry. Does escape. Does make it back home. Setting up for a third. Curry, calm down. The Void Ray will help. There we go. We are going to be walling up. Snogstar taking the second gold. He's crazy. Just leapfrogging forward, taking gold after gold base. It is going to be just the singular Void Ray for the time being. Curry is setting up for his third. Again, I'm not convinced because the Queen, Ling, Bane all in. It's coming. It's here. And I feel like Curry may have misread this. He may have misread the situation, misread the game. As Curry is going to be in a lot of danger. Adept's going to be going down. And Snogstar, he's just amassing more Banelings so far. Now he scouts! Oh, but it may be too late. The Queens have been spotted. We do pull back. Where are the shield batteries? No shield batteries, no defense. We bust into the natural. And Snogstar, he has broken in. One Baneling does go off here on the worker. Second Baneling does connect as well. The probes, they're getting annihilated. Lings, they crush into the natural base. Going for the pylon, going for the workers. We have another desperate warp in here for Curry, but the damage has already been done. Curry trying to go into Sky Toss behind this. Nah, it's no shot. This time the Sky Toss will not save us as we break through the gateway and the Cyber Core. Yeah, the wall has been broken. The Queens are stutter stepping in, shutting down that Void Ray. And GG gets called. Snogstar ties it up 1-1. GG. Let's go. GG again. Snogstar, he's known for this kind of stuff. He's known for his cheese. He's known for his all-ins. But Curry doesn't know Snogstar. And he will be caught out. Will be shut down. GG. Well played. We have a tied up series. We are tied up 1-1 in this Team League match. So far, things are looking quite even. Let's go. Things looking quite even here. As I'm making sure I'm able to keep up with everyone. Things looking quite even here. And we'll see who can take a lead in this series. Who can take a lead? We still have a couple more matches up ahead of us here. Again, it's going to be a best of 7 in total. We still have Hon Mono versus Nickrat and 3 Point versus Goblin still coming up next. Coming up next. So 3 Point versus Goblin, it's going to be a PvZ. Goblin, of course, a Croatian Protoss player, also on the Platinum Heroes. 3 Point, the South Korean Zerg player, representing Team Hyper 1. Oh boy. See where this does take us. Webcams logo. There we go. Sorry, just setting up the overlays. There we go. Setting up our overlays. It looks like Goblin versus 3 Point was played via replays. It was played via replays, and we actually don't have them. Sorry, we're just reaching out to gain access to those replays, and hopefully we can. Hopefully we will. So we should be getting into our PVZ momentarily, but I'm going to be going on a short break. Thankfully, that'll give me time to set up all the overlays and set up all the logos. We can see here the Hyper 1 logo, as well as the Platinum Heroes logo. Do love to see it. So we will get into that momentarily here. Just going to be a short break. Take this moment to, take a bit of a breather, to engross yourself into this. Spicy strats against Curry, yeah. Let's go. But yeah, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have the rest of this Team League match. Do not worry. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely Brutal OST as we have returned here with our second best of two of the night. We just wrapped up with Stephen Curry versus Snogstar, and they went for a tied up 1-1 score. We are tied up here currently in this best of 7, and we are here to break that tie. We have a ZVP between 3 points, and Goblin. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have our Croatian Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes, the blue Protoss. It is Goblin. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the purple Zerg representing Team Hyper 1. It is 3 points. Here we go. Again, 3 points going for a 15-15. It is an Extractor Trick 15 hatch. Sorry. Wait, what? Was an Extractor Trick going for a 16 hatchery regardless. Interesting opener here from 3 point. Regardless, going for a, I imagine, a hatch gas pool. But I should emphasize, we are loading into Radisson Station. What the hell were the vetoes? That's what I want to know. What were the vetoes? As Radisson Station is a very unorthodox map in the map pool. Not expecting this whatsoever. But I'm happy to be here nonetheless. Grateful to be a part of this. Let's go. We are setting up. Go to warm up for WTL. Exactly. Here we go. So again, we do have that hatchery on the low ground. Ooh, into potentially, yeah, okay, we're going gasless. We're going 3 hatch before pool? No shot. 3 point. Papi. He's crazy. There it is. We have the 3rd hatchery before the spawning pool here. So very greedy build from 3 point. But you can get away with this. I did mention before, I was like, but why are we on Radisson Station? This is the stuff you can get away with. This map is very large. Longest rushes map in the map pool. Very defendable. We have a free pocket base. We have a very defendable 4th base as well. It is very defendable and very easy to turtle up on 4 bases. Which is why you can go for these greedy openers like triple hatch before pool. This is the greediest opener you can go for. You can conceive in this matchup. Crazy here, and 3 points should get away with it. Meanwhile, Goblin back at home is going to be opening up with a Stargate. We do have a Stargate opener here from Goblin. Should be 4 oracles to harass across the map to eventually get into a 3rd base ourselves. Again, typically Radisson Station is a game of greed. It's how many corners can you cut? How greedy can you be? How wild will you become? Oh boy, that is the question. That is the question here. So we're here to we are here to bear witness. Oh boy. Initially with our Stargate opener, again, we can go for a Void Ray or an Oracle. They both have their place. They both do have their place here. As it is going to be the Oracle opener. This is a good way to just harass across the map to get some economic damage done and to scout our opponents as well. So not a bad start here. Well, there's a lot of potential. Meanwhile, 3rd base is being taken on location. We do see the Adept shading in across the map. 3 point even gets supply blocked after losing that initial Overlord. But he was able to scout. He was able to confirm what was happening. And he's getting ready for the Oracles with Queens and Spores in position. We're here. We are ready for it. Sorry, again, just a little bit distracted. Just doing some things behind the scene. 850. Beautiful. As the Oracle is just trying to get some damage done, steps in towards that natural base, but the Queens are in position, damage is dealt. Ooh, even doing quite a bit of whole damage. The Oracle has only killed 1 drone. We're going for a 2nd, but we overextend. The Oracle takes so much damage, 1 shot away from going down. The Oracle will barely survive, will barely escape. Behind this, we have a Twilight Council and a Forge. Getting into +1, and I imagine Blink, not Charge. Never mind. So I assumed it was going to be Blink. It is going to be Charge, and we have a Gateway Explosion. Okay, so there's a dynamic here on Radisson Station. It's either be as greedy as possible or go for all-ins and try to kill your opponent and punish them for being too greedy. Try to punish them for just being a little bit too greedy here. Stays trapped into the main base or into the natural is going to be denied. And it is going to be an all-in. It's going to be 3 base all-in by Goblin. It's going to be 8 gates in total. Charge and +1. This is going to hit like a truck. And it's going to be on 3 point to have enough of an army, a large enough army to defend. He's been greedy. He's been droning up to 66. But there it is. Roach production is commencing. 3 point can take a 4th. As long as we cut workers here at 3 base saturation, we should be okay to just mass roaches. Meanwhile, the Oracles, they get a couple of drones here in the Bugged base. A couple of workers do go down. Going to be re-establishing that. Roaches are amassing. Hydra Den on the way here for 3 points. Okay, Roach Hydra going to be the composition of choice. Goblin is working towards his eventual 4th base. And how many zealots do we have? That's a lot of zealots. We are pushing. But we can see that Goblin is not all in. We can see that he is working towards the next step. Blink, Robo for Immortal production, for Colossus production, maybe even Disruptors. And how much damage can these zealots do as we do end up rocking up across the map? Roaches are still on the way. Here we go. We collapse on the Queens. Queens, they get surrounded. Big pickoffs. We get 2 Queens in total. Not a bad start for Goblin. And from here, he will retreat. At the same time, Triple Oracle threatening a base. With the dead Queens, the bases are that much more exposed. But Goblin will retreat. And honestly, that was a really good fight. 3 Zealots for 2 Queens. Well worth it for Goblin. Behind this should be expanding. And again, he's working on the next step. Oracles, they get into the bases. Get in between the bases. 1 Oracle does go down. Ay, ay, ay. As Goblin does recall back home. Saving those Oracles. I want to give the edge to 3 point here. 3 point depends. It depends on whether or not he drones. For the time being, he still has yet to make any workers. He's still relying on his Roach Hydra, soon to be Hydra army. Pushing into this is not going to go well for 3 point. He's going to try. He is up in supply. That is true. But the stasis... Good start here for Goblin. Does catch 3 of those roaches. 3 point, he is up in supply, that is true, but this is also inflated supply. Doesn't have the biggest lead you would think. There is only 1 immortal though. Only 1 immortal. 3 point. Can he break this 4th? Can he break him? Oh, force field's thrown down. We catch a couple more roaches. Stasis trap is going to be shut down, but we have another behind it. We can see 3 points struggling to push in. You can see he had a, what, 70, 80 supply lead? And you can see how much trouble he's having pushing into this 4th. Yeah, the defender's advantage here is so strong on Razor Station. He's pushing in. Only 1 force field. Overcharge is popped. Stasis trap, will it be triggered? Oh, it will! Massive stasis trap here on the army. Zealots are coming in. 2nd Immortal has arrived, and we do defend, we do hold. Despite the 80 supply lead of 3 point, doesn't even matter, and we are closing the gap in supply. Again, this is why usually we tech up into the late game and we skip this phase. This 4th, it's so difficult to break. As we see here, 3 point going to be losing all of his Roaches and Ravagers. Comes in with reinforcements. 3 point, he really wants to break Goblin here. We'll see. I mean, there's no overcharge. We're running out of shield batteries a little bit. Another stasis being thrown down. We are up to 4 immortals. Massive stasis here on the Lings. Essentially becoming a force field. Archon is focused down. Once again, though, we're losing so much supply. You can see the trades here. 35 roaches. Lost double the gas. Almost double the minerals. 3 point trying to push in. Lings, they do break free. 3 point, can he break him? No, he cannot. Another overcharge is popped. 3 point has to respect it. Being forced back, and now he only has, what, a 20 supply lead? If that. A Goblin cannot and will not be broken. using the map to his advantage here. And again, 3-point, the reinforcements, they take longer to get across the map. Again, it's just a choke point that he's pushing into. As Roaches are slowly stepping forward. How many immortals do we have? We're up to 6. 6 immortals. Storm is done. Show us the storms, and we do throw them down. Oh my god. Storms, they crash into the Hydras. Yeah, and 3-point, his army is crumbling, and Goblin takes the supply lead. Ay, ay, ay. Again, 3-point being a little bit too stubborn here. Just a little bit too stubborn. Goblin, he's ahead economically. He preserves his army. Looking at the trades, he lost 2 immortals. Only 2 immortals. And a handful of Archons. And 3-point, he's just been ramming his face against the wall, and it just has not been faltering. The wall stands strong. Behind this, now 3-point is transitioning. Now he's going into Lurkers, into Hydra Lurker Viper, into Hive Tech. But this is late. This is all late. This could have already been done. We could have already had 80 workers and a 5th. Again, 3-point, he just spends so many resources, threw them all down the drain. You can see here 11k minerals, 4k gas. Ay, ay, ay. And I have to give the edge to Goblin, because Goblin, after defending, Sky Toss. Sky Toss here from Goblin. Carriers are on the way. And 3-point is going to be stuck with Hydra Lurker Viper, which isn't bad, but it's not ideal. Basically, 3-point is working on the ideal anti-Ground Toss army. Meanwhile, Goblin is working on the ideal anti-Zerg army. And the carrier production well underway. 5th base being taken. Again, we're even on bases, which is never a good thing for the Zerg player. Never good, Shpaki, never good. We are pushing. Meanwhile, looks like the armies may miss each other. 3-point, he does spot the army, and he ignores it. Yeah, he's going to be avoiding it. Or will he? As we push in, the 5th base is going to be going down. It melts. Carriers yet to fully reveal themselves. Until now. And 3-point rotating over. Lurkers do burrow. Trying to come in for a flank here. So far, the Lurkers are holding. We are holding. No Vipers. Without Vipers, we cannot really collapse on this. 3-point can't really engage, so he ignores it. He avoids the army, leaves a couple of Lurkers to defend, throws down a wall of spores. But it looks like, yeah, Goblin, he does see this. Oh. He doesn't break through. Gets a revelation. Gets a revelation on the army, and he should be wondering, where is the main army of 3-point? We should recall. Do need to recall back home or commit to the base trade. How do we engage? Lurkers, they fan out. 3-point pushing in. Storms are being thrown down here on the army. But where's the recall? We have to make a choice. We have to make a decision. And Goblin, he's committing into Lurkers. Where's the revelation? It does reveal 3 of those Lurkers. We have 3 more that are hidden. Meanwhile, 3-point breaking into the natural base, getting into the cyber core. And it looks like we have broken the front lines here. Goblin, he breaks the 4th. Meanwhile, 3-point, he gets into the natural base, gets into the mineral line. And if he can get into the main, he can camp the production. That's his win condition, but it's the same for Goblin. And Goblin has more bases. Gateways are being thrown down. Goblin, he has production, he has economy. 3-point doesn't. He has no way out. He has 1 hatchery outside. We have Lurkers shutting down the pocket base. Hydras into the main. But 3-point, this is his only saving grace. 1 hatchery outside of his main bases. Goblin pushing in. 3-point, he has to slowly siege this base here. And I still have to give the edge to Goblin. I have to. Lurker goes down. Immortals, they break in. Archons towards the pocket base. We could just kill we could just kill 3-point by elimination as well. Like, we're running out of drones. Running out of buildings. 3-point is going for the wall of cannons. Oh my god, so many cannons to work through. Lurkers are going down. Storm is thrown down as well. Yeah, Goblin, he's full control. He's in full control of this. GG gets called, and Goblin takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, 3 points being a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too overconfident, I would say. Going for a big all-in, going for a big committed push on 3-base economy, not advisable on Radisson Station. As we saw, it was 180 supply versus 120. 110 to 120. That's how the supplies were looking at the start of that fight. And 3-point could not break Goblin. Could not touch him. Could not break him whatsoever. Again, that is why traditionally on Radisson Station you avoid that kind of play. And 3-point, again, was maybe feeling a little bit too overconfident about his position. And any kind of lead he had, he threw away. He threw away as he tried and failed multiple times to break the 4th. Eventually, he transitioned out into Hydro Lurker Viper, but never got into Vipers, and it was a late transition, late economy, delayed economy. Just a really rough game there from 3-point. And the Platinum Heroes take a lead in the series. They do take a lead. We go. And can the Platinum Heroes close it out? Or can Team Hyper 1 fight back? And they fight back. And I'm hoping they can, but we'll see. We shall see. As game 2 is going to be on Golden Aura. This morning, in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Croatian Protoss player. Currently, his team representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series here 2-1 in this overall best of 7. It is Goblin. Oh, wait, what? Oh no. Hold on. There. And can he extend that lead? Meanwhile, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. The purple Zerg representing Team Hyper 1. Down in this series, he has to fight back here to tie things up. It is 3-point. Here we go. EVZ does continue here on a much smaller map. I do want to give 3-point a little bit more credit and a little bit more of a favor here on Golden Aura. Again, if you want to be aggressive, his aggressive style is going to be a lot easier on this map in Golden Aura instead. We'll see. We'll see if he can take advantage of it. See if he can pull it off. Sorry, just a little bit distracted. Just trying to fix some stuff. I think I can. But for the time being, here we go. We are just getting into our hatch gas pool. Hatch gas pool opener. Hatch gas pool opener here from 3-point. Standard build so far. We're not going for any kind of crazy 3-hatch before pool like we tried to go for on Radisson Station. Meanwhile, Goblin likewise going for a gate expand, and we should be seeing another Stargate opener instead. should be seeing a Stargate opener. As we are going to be settling into this again, we do have that Stargate. Should be 4 Oracles once again. Should be from the side of Goblin, as 3-point is being pulled back. Again, just going to be making a handful of links to be safe against the Adepts. Should be in a good position, as 3-point is getting his third base up and running. And oh, actually, never mind. We're cutting drones. Uh-oh. We're flooding lings across the map. We're flooding lings here. And Goblin, for the time being, is in the dark. He doesn't have any vision, doesn't know what's going on. Oh, God. Goblin is in quite a bit of trouble here, as he does not have a safety shield battery. And here we go, lings. They do get across the map. We're still making more lings here to push in. Still making more lings. Shield battery still not thrown down, and we're committing. We are going to try to commit here. There's no turning back from 3-point. It's all or nothing. Can we break Goblin, or will we die trying? Gateways are being knocked down. Cybercore as well. We're running out of shields. Will Warp Gate finish? It's so close. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are denied. Warp Gate doesn't finish. No production, no units, no more gateways. No more Adepts. The Oracles are running out of energy. They're running out of steam. That was so close. That was 1 second away from finishing. Ay, ay, ay. And 3-point. He is doing it. He is breaking through. We have a secondary wall. A third wall behind it as well. A fourth wall. We're just walling as best we can, but it looks like that's a kill in the gateway. The lings, we bust into the main base. The workers are exposed. A Void Ray has arrived, but a Void Ray's DPS is not going to be high enough. We're going for a kill in the Nexus. Oh my god. Probes have to turn around. They have to fight, and they're getting annihilated by the lings. Again, we go for that Nexus. We force the lings, we force the drones to fight. The probes to fight. And that should be a kill in the main base. It's going to be close. Lings are running out. We're running out of lings. We get 24 probe kills. But we have control of the natural. That's what matters here. Goblin down to 16 probes. Down to 16 workers. We're focusing down the Nexus as well. Do we have any SimCity to work with? We do not. And we're getting a kill on that natural base. From here, we can go into the main. And Goblin just cannot keep up. Just doesn't have the DPS for this. Doesn't have the production. Yeah, the Nexus goes down. GG gets called, and 3-point ties up the series 1-1, or 2-2 even. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. We are neck and neck. Platinum Heroes versus Hyper 1. We're tied up here 2-2. And how will this story end? Where are we going, Bobby? Where are we going? As up next, we have 2 players remaining. We have Nickrat versus Homono in a TVT. Oh, hold on. And this, we're gonna have to try to get into that lobby. Un momento here. As we have a lot of casters that are going to be filing into this. Here we go. Nickrat versus Homono. I'm unfamiliar with the vetoes, but game 1 is going to be on Oceanborn. I can tell you that. Game 1 between Nickrat and Homono is going to be on Oceanborn. And again, if it's a 2-0 in either direction, then that's game. If it's a 2-0, that's going to be the game. That's going to be, you know, in favor of the leading team, either Platinum Heroes or Hyper 1. Otherwise, if it's a 1-1 score, then we go to the ace match. Oh boy. We could go the entire way. We could go the distance. For now, though, we're loading in to Oceanborn. Also, a big shout out to Control. Control is casting in Korean. He's casting in Korean alongside InnoColor. And we also have Mousy also casting in English. Big shout out to our lovely, lovely players here. Getting into game number 1. All comes down to this, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes, his new team. It is Nicaract. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It's the red Terran. It is Hon Mono. We go. The most honorable of honorables is here, has arrived. And it comes down to a TVT. Nicaract, he's a TVT sniper. This is what the matchup that he is best known for. Hon Mono has a really interesting style of TVT as well. So for those that are familiar with Hon Mono, you would know that he's a very cheesy, very aggressive player, especially against Protoss. He does nothing but all-ins against Protoss. And against Zerg, he plays mech. He plays mech, he plays hyper defensive. Like, he has a very peculiar playstyle, a very specific playstyle. Against Terran, he plays standard. He does play standard against Terran, so I don't expect anything too wild out of Hon Mono in this TVT. My eyes are mainly on Nicaract. But we'll see how this all comes together. Again, we rarely get to see Hon Mono in a TVT just because there aren't many Terran players in general in our region. There aren't many Terran players whatsoever. So we'll see how this all comes together. SCP Scout coming in. We also get eyes on the factory. As the SCV is going to be moving out. Likewise, from his opponent, Reapers are going to be hitting us here. As it was a double gas opener, sorry, I should have mentioned that. Double gas opener from both players. Faster factories, delayed CCs. Reapers, they do come across each other. Nicaract going to be losing his first Reaper. Ooh. Rough start there for Nicaract. First Reaper does go down. And the Hon Mono behind this. Following up with some Cyclone production. Goes for the add-on swap, making 2 Cyclones at a time. Likewise, Nicaract, no add-on swap whatsoever. The factory is further back. Uh-oh. We're only going to be investing into that first Cyclone. Starport's on the way. Oh no, we're going for the... Okay, never mind. I assumed because the factory was further back, we wouldn't go for an add-on swap, but we are. Cyclones are soon to be upon us here. For both players. And Hon Mono spicing it up, going for Concussive Shell. This I was not expecting. Okay, Concussive Shell Marauders here from Hon Mono, really mixing it up. And that is going to add quite a lot of complexity to this army. Okay, so this means if Nicaract pushes out with his Cyclones, these Marauders will shut them down. They will slow down those Cyclones, and Hon Mono can very quickly snowball out of control. This is a wild build. This is wild. We'll see if it works. Marauders are moving out already. This is a bold move, but the first Marauder is across the map. Getting into a 1-1-1 Raven production. Pretty standard setup here by Nicaract, going Raven Cyclone. Meanwhile, Hon Mono going Cyclone Marauder. Cyclones are massing across the map. We are rallying. I assumed that Homeowner was going to be waiting for Nickrak, but no, he's being proactive here. He's moving out with one Marauder. Here we go. We do apply some pressure here to the base. We force the reaction. Marauder's going ham here on the Cyclones. And can we focus them down? It looks like Nickrat, he will barely hold on. Auto Turret gets thrown down and we shut down the push. Boys were pulled. A couple of SCVs. One SCV did fall, but did a great job tanking those Marauder shots, and we can repair up. Nickrat is taking a lead. If he can survive. It's a big if. Ooh, gets a Cyclone. Gets a Cyclone, gets a Raven as well. We barely break through. Does Homeowner have enough? He's so committed here as he does get another Cyclone. Trading 1 for 1. Whew. Trading out the entire army. Gets 3 SCVs as a result. Homeowner is still behind in workers. Still down in SCVs, but he's getting his 3rd CC on location. And he's still rallying across the map. He's still rallying out. Does deny the bunker. Is pushing in. I don't think Homeowner can really get much more done here, though. Like, we have a backup Raven for more auto turrets. We have 2 Cyclones. We have boys to be pulled. Nickrat should be in a good position here. And Homeowner, he's making it up. Let's go. He's making it happen here. More factories on the way. As Homeowner is able to get a bit of concave, gets another Raven. Really efficient trades. Really efficient trades here. Foam Homeowner gets another Raven, gets 4 more SCVs, and now Homeowner has taken a worker lead. Getting into a 4 CC behind this, and he's going to be amassing more Cyclones. Well, as he is breaking on through, he gets another Raven. Oh, he's killed 3 Ravens so far. Ay, ay, ay. Not ideal here for Nickrat, bleeding out too much. That's going to be 13, 14 SCVs going down, and finally Homeowner, he's gotten the damage he's been looking for. He has broken through, gets 15 SCVs. He has control of the natural base, just barely, and behind this, he's on 3 bases, soon to be 4. Behind this, he's working on tank production and Vikings. Homeowner is so far ahead. And we will eventually deal with this. We will eventually clean this up. But Homeowner is in a really good position. And Nickrat behind this, he's basically all in. He's stuck here with a 2-base all in. With a 3-1-1 setup, trying to build up his tanks. The problem is that he doesn't have an army. He's been bleeding out too much. He lost all of his Ravens, lost all of his Cyclones, lost his Marines. He has nothing to work with. And Homeowner is up 2 bases. Scans the main, confirms the infrastructure, confirms lack of CC. And Homeowner, he's running away with this. Now, what I will say is that Nickrat is soon about to have medevacs. With these medevacs, we can go for drop play. We can move out with the double drop. We can get into the main base, into the 3rd, into the natural. We can try to pull Homeowner apart. This is the saving grace of Nickrat. We gotta go. We need to push here and now. We cannot wait. Nickrat, he has a slight army advantage here, a slight supply advantage. Scan reveals the move out. Ooh. Homeowner, he sees, he knows, getting in position. We have a ring of turrets. A ring of turrets here at the 3rd and the main. Scans the center of the map, sees the army. Homeowner is getting in position. Hellions, more tanks. 5th CC. This is too greedy. This is Homeowner. He's an animal. He's an animal, Bobby. Getting into a 5th CC from here as well. Vikings, they're lying in wait. And they force back those medevacs. The drop is denied. Nickrat needs to find another way in. We have a ring of turrets here at the natural. Again, Homeowner just turtling up so hard. And I know I said that Homeowner plays standard in TVT, but I'm going to have to eat my words on that one. Because, no, he went for a very wild start, very wild build. Into just turtling up on mech. getting further ahead. Scan reveals the lack of third. Homono trying to figure out whether or not Nickrack is all in, and he is. We're going for a Doom Drop into the natural. Medevac's going to be focused down. We do unload everything, though. Everything is unloaded, but the tanks are sieged. One tank will fall. Vikings going to have to land. We'll have to land these Vikings. We get into middle line. SCVs are going down. Good damage is being done, but that was the entire army of Nickrack. At the same time, pushing on the left-hand side. GG gets called as too much of a disadvantage, and Honmono will take game number 1. GG. Honmono, he takes a lead for himself, for his team, for Hyper 1. And now the pressure is on Nickrack. He's not out of it yet. If he wins this next game, we force the ace match. We force game 7. But it's all on Nickrack here. It's all on Nickrack. Switch our scenes over. Hopefully this is looking okay. It's oh, not at all. Not at all. Switching our scenes. We'll just stick to verbally. It's fine. Sorry, I was just trying to set something up. Clearly not working. But for the time being, the pressure is on Nickrack. We're getting into Hecate. This is going to be potentially the final map here, the final game. We'll see how the story does end as we get all the casters in. Nickrack needs to win this game here and now. Here we go. Getting in. Here we go. Who will come out on top? Who is the better team? Who has a stronger lineup? As Hyper 1 is a relatively newer team, has recently bolstered their ranks and signed some new players. And clearly they can go toe-to-toe at least with some of the best out there in Europe. And here we go. We're getting into one of our final games. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate. We have our blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nickrack. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is Honmono. Again, it's a best of 7, which means first to 4. First team to 4 wins will be victorious here. Honmono needs one more to win it all. Nickrack needs to win this game to give his team the opportunity to force the ace match and to fight back in that final game. Honmono moving out with an SCV. Hello, Bobby. Where are we going? Okay, we're just scouting, looking for a proxy before pulling back. Honmono making sure that he isn't bamboozled. Going for a double gas opener. Likewise, so is Nickrack. Double gas openers all around. This is for a faster factory. Aggressive builds here from both Honmono and Nickrack. Now, even though we saw Honmono go for a very specialized build, going for Cyclone Concussive Shell Marauder, which was crazy, by the way. Even though we saw that specialized build, we shouldn't see it again. We should not see it here in Game 2. We'll most likely see something very different. That's what's great. That's what's amazing about Honmono. He has so many builds up his sleeve, so many different playstyles. Can be a very difficult player to read. Let's go. As factories are on the way, we can see Honmono. He's once again checking for proxies. Checking towards the left-hand side. Reaper of Nickrack does move out. Does come across the Reaper of Honmono. Who shoots first? SV's here. Trying to tank some of those shots. And Nickrack is forced back. Shouldn't lose the Reaper, though. Shouldn't, as Honmono does take an extra hit. Oh! And Homeowner, he will not lose, he will lose the Reaper, but he takes down the Reaper of Nickrack with the SCV. The SCV has a Reaper kill. That is a rare sight. That is a rare sight there from Homeowner. Nice moves, slick moves from our Korean Terran. That one SCV, the hero SCV with the Reaper kill. How did it happen? Did we surround? No. I drilled him to death. I mined him, Papi. Oh my god. As we back off and we're getting into our openers, Nickrack going for a bit of an older school build. It's going to be Reactored, Reapers, and Hellions. We're going to be applying a lot of pressure initially with our first couple of units. Meanwhile, Homeowner going for a Reactor into Cyclone production. SCV gets shut down. The CC is delayed. Nickrack will have a faster base as a result. But the Cyclones are revealed. Homeowner doubling down on Cyclone production. In a head-to-head fight, I want to favor Homeowner, but Nickrack may be able to get into a mineral line and kill workers, or even try to pick apart at a couple of these Cyclones left unattended. We shall see. Cyclones, they have made it out here for Honmono. Have made it out. So we're getting into Raven. So again, Cyclone Raven, pretty standard stuff here from Honmono. Meanwhile, behind this, Nickrack is continuing Reaper production. Non-stop Reapers out of Nickrack. Okay, we've gotten up to 6, soon to be 8 Reapers. We've also got Liberator on the way into Reactors. Very aggressive build here from Nickrack. It's going to be an interesting dynamic here. Getting into a tank as well. Okay. Nickrack. He's cooking, Papi. He's cooking. Let him cook. What do we got? Okay, Hellion Reaper is moving out across the map. We have the Liberator on the right-hand side. Doesn't get caught out by the Cyclones. Liberator will fall. Nickrack diving into that natural. Auto touch being thrown down. The Cyclones, they do deal with the Hellions, but the Reapers, they do not push in. Yeah, there's just too much to defend. Homeowner does hold. Shut down that Lib, shut down the Hellions. The Reapers at least survived, and we can threaten a mineral line. That is true. We can dive into the main. And yeah, that's going to be the only option here for Nickrack. Looking for another way in towards the natural. Oh, runs into the Cyclones. Is forced to fight. A lot of Reapers going down. Do bleed out 4 Reapers. Behind this, Nickrack taking his CC on location. Bold move. Is expanding on location. Meanwhile, Homeowner, that is a second factory. He's playing mech again. It is going to be mech once again from Homeowner. Still massing more Cyclones. Has caught out more of these Reapers, forcing them back, making sure they don't find a way into the main. As Nickrack, he's going to try to hold on to that third base. We have a wall of tanks, Marines. Scan does reveal the production. We get eyes on the bio, on the stim that's being researched. And Homeowner, he collapses here on those Reapers. Able to pick more of them off. We do have disables. We do have disables available. Homeowner thinks about it. Brings his army together. Now he can disable all these tanks. They can be shut down. We can throw down auto turrets. Stim isn't done, by the way, so Honmono has a pretty threatening army. It's a very threatening army here. Rotates towards the left-hand side. There's 4 Ravens, my god. It's a lot of Ravens. As time goes on, though, the tank count is getting higher and higher. As the tank count gets higher, Nickrack is more fortified. He's holding, he's defending. Even going for a drop. Uh-oh. There we go. Does pull back. Bold move out of Nickrack. He does pull back in the end, thankfully. Third base is getting up and running. Homono double expanding, going for a 4th and a 5th CC. We saw something very similar in game 1. We did see something very similar. Just mass greed out of Homono. Shuts down the medevac. Scanning, looking for a 4th, looking for the army. Does confirm it. Now, something that Nicorette has is he does have a tank lead. He is up in tanks, but because Homono is playing mech, because he's making 3 tanks at a time, he will soon catch up. He will soon be able to catch up. And Nicorette is going to be in a bit of trouble when that happens. Before that does occur, here we go, Homono pushing in. Nicorette unsieges. Does unsiege. Does try to collapse on that army. Nice anti-armor missile as well on Homono. Does cover him. As Nicorette, he is pushing. Looking at the units here, Nicorette, he still has a slight tank lead. He's down in Ravens. But he is moving out. Meanwhile, Homono to double expand. Taking his 3rd, taking his 4th. Nicorette's going to be pushing in. Rotating towards the 4th base. Ooh, does run into a wall of tanks, but massive tank shots. Disables are thrown down. Almost every tank of Nicorette is disabled. And Homono can take the fight. Breaks through with his cyclones. There are still 4 tanks left. Oof. Yeah, but it looks like Nicorette, he's being cleaned up. We land the Vikings here on top of the tanks. The tank volleys are too good. GG gets called, and Homono will take the series at 2-0. Will take the Team League match 4-2. GG. GG, well played. A very committed attack there from Nicorette. Alas, he ran into so many Ravens. Like, again, he had the tank lead, but we saw the massive amount of disables from Homono. He just rendered all those tanks inert. They could not do anything. They could not touch Homono. And Homono takes it all here for himself and for his team. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Team Hyper 1, to Stephen Curry, 3-point, and Homono. They all put in quite a lot of work here. We saw Stephen Curry and 3-point go 1-1. I mean, the shout out to the Platinum Heroes, right? They made for a good series. Snockstar, Goblin, and Nicorette, they all held their own. I don't blame Nicorette for struggling against Homono, because Homono is a very, very unpredictable player. Very unpredictable, as we saw in game 1. In game 2, it was Nicorette that was cooking. It was Nicorette that was going like mass Reaper Hellion, which was very unorthodox and unfortunately didn't break through, didn't pay for itself. Nicorette did fall behind in the overall quality of the army, it felt, and Homono was able to rush into his own mech, catch up in tanks, take a lead in Ravens, and take a win from there. Take a very dominant fight. GG. GG. Congratulations to Hyper 1. My condolences to the Platinum Heroes, but yeah, to have the conclusion of this Team League match. Again, a shout out to the Platinum Heroes and Hyper 1. This is the Platinum Hyper Cup. If you haven't heard of this before, I don't blame you. It's a new event. It's a relatively new event, and every edition, every rendition of this tournament is a different format. You know, sometimes we have, you know, a standard bracket, sometimes we have a group stage, sometimes we have a Team League match. You know, they do like to spice things up, and from my understanding, I believe the event is basically locked to players from the Platinum Heroes or something along those. I'm sorry, no, it's an open event. It is an open event, but you know, again, different themes from time to time, and yeah, with that, does go the way of Hyper 1. There is going to be another Platinum Hyper Cup in the future. It's there is no set date yet, but there's going to be a Platinum Hyper Cup 4. There's going to be a number 5 as well. I'm not too certain what the format's going to be, but we will do our best to cast. We'll do our best to bring you some English coverage here on the CranKy Ducklings, so stay tuned and keep an eye on our social media because we do post whenever we go live. I apologize earlier for not making it known for not making it known that we were covering this. There was a bit of miscommunication, and we thought this event was in a couple of days. Alas, it was today. So thankfully, we were able to prepare in time and bring you this lovely event. And again, more to come. More to come in the future. GG, well played. Ooh, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. And for now, we're done for the day. Now we're finally done for the day here. We just wrapped up with the IM Katowice broadcast of the group stage, and now we're going to be taking a break here. We're going to be returning tomorrow with some more IM content. Some more IM Katowice group stage. Group B, going to be tomorrow. Otherwise, you can follow us on social media, !socials in the chat. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We're going to be live again tomorrow once again, and you can even follow us on Patreon. You can support us on Patreon. Our Patreon is set up to fund our events, to fund our tournaments, so you can support us there if you wish. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Thank you for watching. See you then. Until then, hasta luego. Take care. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.